Howdy, folks. It's Halloween. They said everybody had to dress up here. Our office does that. Everybody's dressed up here. Not everybody, but almost everybody's dressed up. And I thought I'd wear my cowboy hat. Oh, hello, my dear ones.
Are you on?
Yeah, well, that's okay. Come on.
Oh, well, I was going to ask you questions about the class. Then.
Oh,
so I'm
you know what?
I'm running down here and just like...
You're funny. Come here. You got to show them. You got to show them. You got to show them. Now, this is Shannon. It's just something about that. I'll stop back by.
Okay.
Yeah. Funny. A nun. Oh, I hope you all are doing well, having some fun on this day of funny stuff. You know, I think I'll read this letter. He wanted me to kind of talk to his parents over the YouTube, but I think this letter is important for everybody. This young man is striving to get his wellness back. And the things that he's going through to do this is important. And I think this is important for everyone that's going through these levels, and especially you younger guys and gals. You've got to work through some genetics here that might not be a lot of fun. And then some of you are working on some extremely stagnant lymphatic systems. Just to give you an idea, this is Joshua. Just to give you an idea of some of the stuff Joshua's got out of himself. This is urine after dry fasting. Mucoid plaque out of the stools. More plaque out of the stools. More urine. More nasties, all kinds of nasties, mucus, parasites, probably. So he's got more stuff out of the urine. I mean, he's just got a lot. Look at that, big, nasty stuff. More stuff out of the urine. More huge globs of nasty mucus, black mucoid plaque. And this is out of his ears. Candile's ears. A lot of stuff in the ears. So this young man's working on himself. More urine. This young man's working on himself. So let me read you this case. This is his story. He said, "Hello, Dr. Morse. Firstly, thank you. Your videos got me through the first stage of my healing journey, which wasn't an easy one, as you are about to find out." This is a 24-year-old male with numerous spine disease diagnosis and an autoimmune diagnosis. I have never accepted these names, of course, but the medical terms were all kinds of stuff. I can't even pronounce some of these things. With mild scoliosis, defects in the spine, no spinal fluid. Certain chiropractors would call it AS. Also diagnosed by medical doctors with fibromyalgia, which of course you all know all of these conditions is just head to toe acidosis. And this is what this young man gets. And it's important that he gets this and the stuff that he's getting out of his body. I'm going to show you his eyes here in a minute too. My problem started when I was around 16 or 17 years old with my back, and then it all just got worse from there. So I imagine I have been acidic for a very long time before that, and I am 24 now. So you can imagine this young man is just getting to the planet. just really getting the few years under him, some of the maturing years, and look what he's straddled with. And this is what I've been talking about, how important you guys are in this world to understand this level of healing, because it's the only one that'll pull you up and out of these deeper areas of genetic weaknesses and chronic lymph issues here. I come from the background of eating takeaway every day for years. Let's see, vegan for the last 2 years, but still eating junk. I recently did a 90-day grape juice and lemon fast with tinctures, and wow, lots has changed, but it pushed me to the fat too far mentally. So in getting deep into his body, it pushed him too far mentally for my first fast, digging that deep, and left me like a skeleton, right? With different problems that I am now ready to tackle. With your help, so much changed in my body on the fast so quickly that so many acids were released and couldn't get out of me fast enough. Now, this is a very important statement that is a problem that we face. And this is why you see me and the way I have these herbals laid out here. So you can see that I've been through years of detoxing people and trying to find an easier, better way. It is my expressed opinion. You always want to detox with herbs. That's my expressed opinion, because of some seriousness that can happen when you don't, because they buffer. They buffer, they assist. Those that have used them that know, they just are all the difference in the world when you're detoxed, especially from some of these deeper, darker areas of problems. So again, let me read this again. So much change in my body on the fast so quickly that so many acids were released and couldn't get out of me fast enough. I drained so much out with dry fasting, and my spine has loosened up and straightened a lot. Hear that? So you can see what curves the spine, right? Absolutely. Especially in my neck and upper back, where most of my issues seem to be. It started with cracking and popping as they loosened up after about 60 days, and then felt and sounded like shattered glass breaking. Right? And eventually most of it went away, giving me movement back and slowly getting my posture straighter. How cool is that? But the journey is not fun with this lad. That's what you see what acids do. They lock, they dehydrate, all that mucus locks, get tight and stiff. So when that stuff starts coming loose. Okay, so also my ribs are looser, and I can take deep breaths again instead of feeling trapped in my own rib cage. Imagine that, all right? Can imagine this lad and how his life's been for the last 8 years, 9 years, but it's been developing since mother, of course. Still have a good bit to get rid of, though. This is head to toe, bright red eyes that burn when I do the hot and cold showers to move lymph from my head. He's really working the program. And I have to say, this is nothing but good. And if your parents are listening, man, you are kicking butt. When everybody has to wake up to what you need to get well on this planet. And this medical information advice is about as stupid as you can get. It has locked man into Hellville and taken many people into Hellville and into death. So one has to wake up to this idiocy of the medical thinking and this idea of diseases. Cause and effect. We are scientists. Cause and effect rule everything here on this planet and in this universe. Actually, cause and effect rules from the mental worlds down. Period. That's creation. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. Jesus simply said, you reap what you sow. And then Buddha said, karma. All the same thing. So you have to be careful what action you put out. You got to expect it coming back. So that's why you give love and healing and help, and you get that back. You get backbiting, anger, judgmental stuff, you get it right back at you. So, it's just you get what you give. It's just an old thing, and it's the law of physics. So I feel sorry for him. Still have a good bit to get rid of, though. This is head to toe. Swollen lymph nodes in my neck and around my ears have gone down by a good 60%. That's excellent. You do not, and I've said this over and over again, want to have swollen lymph nodes around the throat and head. You screw up and go the allopathic way, you just about ended your life. And then, have you seen anybody with half their throat gone? Yeah, not good. And it didn't fix the problem at all. All it did was cut out the acids that were damaging the cells there, and it's all through you. How do you cut someone up totally? See, this is the problem. I have swollen lymph still in my neck, down my chest area, all down my spine, into my hips, and down the back of my legs, right down to my ankles and feet. His lymph system is backed up head to friggin' toe. Where are we going? Kidneys and adrenal glands. Always, always, always. Kidneys and adrenal glands. And it's funny, just when those gland and organs are down, you're down. There goes your sewer system. There goes your sewer system. They are all softer now, but still my nose isn't as blocked as it was. Memory is a bit better. Brain fog is better. Joints are better. A bit better. Bowels are a lot better. I had IBS all my life. Again, just a medical doctor's name I never accepted. Still have acid from head to toe, though, and still suffering from after my 90-day fast. It has caused many problems in my hip and my leg. When you go on these fasts and you start moving lymph out, and this is another problem, that which occupies spaces is no longer occupying spaces, so things can get really loose, and then you really get to see where your problems are, because acids are locking all that together like one big tight thing, but once you loosen all that up, you really get to see where all that cracking, where all that calcium came from, right in the joint. So you're going to see some joint problems and things like this, but you can't stop. You've got to keep moving your car down to Railville, because, if you don't, and this young man waited another 10 years, worse, much worse. You don't sit there and that acid chew you and say, you know what, I'm going through too much. Let me wait 10 years from now and I'll do it then. It'll be 10 times worse. You've got to, at some point, jump and do this. Now, let me go on, because it gets worse. Or better, how you ever want to look at it. I can feel acids frying me inside. See, a lot of people tell me that. They feel these acids, the burning of these acids inside. The average person doesn't know what that's like. They don't know what it's like to feel burning inside. And you can be burning inside and cold. What's that? Thyroid. All right? I can feel the acids frying me inside, causing so much inflammation and tightening all my ligaments and tendons in my lower back, buttocks and thigh and hamstring, and can't seem to move it just yet. But Joshua gets it. He gets this, that you got to keep moving these acids out. You got to keep working on those kidneys, and you look at what he's getting out. Now I'm going to show you his eyes so you'll see what he's up against. I don't have the mental state or energy to fast again for a while, so I need to take more balanced and slow approach with eating fruits only and getting this acid out. I would say that's probably a better approach. If you're having so much trouble with longer fasts, don't do them. Longer fasts would be okay for those that don't have any symptomology with that, or those with tumors, or seriously a short period to live. Then you want to get up there. You want to get up there, hydrate, get the kidneys filtering, and get that lymph moving through that kidneys and skin, or it'll take you down, I am now 4 days into eating after my fast, eating mainly grapes, melons, and berries, few tomatoes and cucumbers, etc. Just what my body is telling me to eat, basically. Smart lad. But I would like your advice on what steps to take whilst eating fruit. Are there any herbs you recommend? Let me tell you. I've talked about this before. By using just food, your detox can be a little bumpy and rough, especially with a fibromyalgia, lupus, Lyme's type of diagnosis, which is nothing more than systemic acidosis. And when you're acidosis from head to toe, it's just not fun. And he's got swollen lymph nodes from his neck all the way down to his ankles. I mean, this is serious stuff. And if the parents don't get with that, then I don't know what to tell the parents, because when you've got swollen lymph nodes, you're in trouble. That's like having your septic tanks backed up and all the sewage, the waste from in the houses, the cells, are not going anywhere. And if no one gets that, then I don't know where they're at. Because this is serious stuff here with these kids. The genetic weaknesses in the 20-year-olds and younger, much worse. Cancer cells are coming in from mom, so you're getting babies with cancer cells. These cancer cells, nothing but a decayed cell. So that's high acidosis and a high genetic weakness of a cell. You know, you hit a cell with acids, a healthy cell with acid, you can take a hit and keep on ticking. But you get these weaker cells, the genetically weaker cells, and you're off of them like crazy. You're converting them to atypical. They're almost atypical in people at 20 years old. I mean, it's serious. And the AMA this is so far out of their league, they don't have a clue. It's like right now the politicians could not correct the problems we have in America if they tried. It's going to take a business person. It's the only way, because we are done here in this country. We have serious trouble in America, guys. Serious trouble. And we're right on the pinnacle of losing this country and having become one of the World Bank's collection pots. Remember, we filed bankruptcy how many times? And who's the collection guy? The World Bank. See, a lot of people don't realize Roosevelt filed bankruptcy. That's when we lost our gold standard. That's when we lost all of those things, 1933. March 9th. So that's the problem. We all love Roosevelt, right? If you guys only knew what Roosevelt did to this country. Unreal. Creepy humans. Just what my body is. I mean, and it could have been, you never know, a walk-in or something else, that sort of thing. You know, you have a few people like that just ruin the whole thing for everybody. But it's the way it should be. It's the way it is. And it's, you know, God put these worlds together. It comes out of it. So, again, I want to keep herbs to a minimum, as I have just been on 12 tinctures for 90 days. Oh, wow. We'll just do the Fab 4 then. You always want to go after kidneys. I would do 2 kidney formulas, 1 lymphatic formula. I'd probably do the capsule. I mean, I'd go back and forth. Capsule, tincture, capsule, tincture. Now, if you have pretty good liver and all that, which we're going to talk about that, I'd probably do the lymphatic 5, because you got sulfur all in your bowels, and that's going to give you gassy, bloaty, all kinds of problems with that. So that's you got to get this sulfur out, and that's one reason why you're having gastric stress. I'd like to see how this big truck makes it in here. I would definitely want to go after your adrenals, your endocrine glands, that sort of thing. But I want to get to your eyes here in just a minute. But I want to read to you the folk, just some of what you went through here. I would like to focus on moving these acids out more than anything for now, and regenerate my spine and hips and legs, and their new adjustments that are being made. I spent days and days in bed. Listen to this. He spent days and days in bed, unable to walk, with shooting lightning bolt pains through the fast packs and packs of ice on my legs for days, crying myself to sleep in pain and panic for days and days. The pain was unreal. Damn. I went through some real tough times. Along with so many other healing crises, but I have never felt burning pain and shooting lightning bolts like this before, and it is still going on after 5 weeks. You know, I would get to a chiropractor, Joshua, and have him look at your spine from the head down, axis down, have him look at it and see if he can't do some adjusting for you. Because in all of this loosening up, you could be way out of adjustment. If you can get into the Bowen, there's a lady chiropractor in Canada that does the Bowen. That's incredible. But get your body, man, have a good chiropractor, maybe with some kinesiology experience. Take a look at your body and see if they can align it and stuff like that. At the same time, you want to get on the kidney formulas, the endocrine gland formulas, and make sure your adrenals are going up, because you're going to end up probably with some low blood pressure. And you want to think about adrenals with licorice, because that licorice will help the pain, and stuff. But these are acids, and acids produce pain, and that's what people don't understand. These are serious times people are in. And this allopathic bull crap labeling things, and they don't even have a clue to what the problem is. Thank God Joshua gets it, and he's working his way back to Wellville here. Not a fun ride, but when you use the right herbs. Now, he did use the herbs during the fast, which is good. 5 weeks, so no way near as bad, but the acids are still trapped in there. Your videos help me to get through the fast. I am a skeleton right now, so thin. So you might want to take a little break, put on some green juices, Joshua. Need some green juices, maybe some avocados. You need the lipids to buffer the fat. You need the fats to buffer the pain anyway. And lipids buffer the pain. So some avocados, maybe some green drinks. That won't slip you back too much. You might want to do that and balance out just a little bit, and it'll keep detoxifying. And then, go after it again harder, maybe down the road here in a few weeks. I will attach my photos of what I released along with my 90-day fast, a picture of my eyes from you to read. I took the photo of my eyes around 50 days into the fast. I also need you to explain on YouTube video for me what it is I am going through, how serious my case is, and what I need to do. To heal, as my family do not understand, and I need some support. And that's a big problem. Some of you guys are out there alone, even with your family there, that are keep hitting you and hit you. And the problem is the ignorance of the humans have to change. There's just so many ignorant human beings that just want to keep their heads down in the sand. And this future on this rock is going to shake some of them real loose. We're headed to some serious war times, guys. You just watch. Headed for some serious stuff. There's still a little shaking of the tree yet. And so you have to be real careful with this. And you parents, if you're listening to this video, you got a good young man here. And you got to help him and support him get through this. And then you'll be very appreciative to what he's doing for himself. Because, Mom, you guys got some genetics you have to deal with. It's not Joshua, it's not just you. Your parents have to wake up to their own problems and their own genes, because you got these genes from somewhere. And you got the sulfur probably from your mother. Their GI tract is a mess. And so your mom and dad's GI tract probably isn't too good. So they themselves need to think about their own health. All right? Support. Please try your best to explain what is going on so my family can sit down with me, watch this video, and can support me along the way. I spent 90 days on my own in a room trying to look after my 1-year-old. Damn. 3 to 4 days a week whilst going through the worst healing crisis you could imagine. And these healing crises can rip, brother. I'm telling you, that's why you got to do the herbs and everything right, and then they're not as bad. But, not a lot of people have this level of healing crisis, guys. So don't freak out. This is just one out of a few that have bizarre or deep healing crisis. But this young man is going balls to the walls, basically. He's going dead straight. And that's what it needs. I'm telling you, you might be confused in what you see if you're the parents. But you need to view these videos more and understand what we teach and how we teach people to regenerate genetic weaknesses of the cells and to get these acids out of the system, the lymphatic system. This planet doesn't understand the lymphatic system well. You guys can't afford not to, or you'll end up like half all the other people on this planet, half dead from using pharmaceuticals, which are no-brainers, toxic crap. I mean, all this stuff, and none of it addresses the cause of anything. It just treats symptoms of which they don't understand the cause of. You don't do that in life and then expect to get come out fairly decent. Too many people are getting their lives ruined with pharmaceuticals, and it's just a nightmare out there. And they don't do anything but control. symptomology, and at the expense, because the cause is still there and they're still getting worse. And that's some of the problems that we're rewinding, is some of the suppression of consciousness of these cells. And the trapped pain in these cells, because when you start detoxing, this trapped pain will come out of these cells, I'm telling you. You know, pain can, there's such a thing as trapped pain in cells. The consciousness of it, it's amazing. We've talked about stories and stories of people that went back and, past haunts. Remember the lady that went down on the floor with extreme pain in her hip, went back and remembered when she was a little girl, her parents were having a vicious fight over money, and she decided she wasn't going to eat anything anymore, hardly eat anything, and save the parents' money. When she saw that whole scenario, the pain left her hip and never came back. What was that? So there's so many levels to life. Man, a human being is very one-dimensional almost. And got to open that up. The planet's decaying. I still can't walk properly due to how thin and weak I am. So I want you to start building up a little bit. Use some green drinks. You may try to use parsley, and if you can still get dandelion green, you can add anything in there you want. You can add some celery for taste. You can add a little beet, just a little beet bulb, kale if you want, spinach, whatever you want in there. And then maybe do some guacamole. Use cucumbers as the chips. And that'll strengthen you up more and more, and just get you a little break from this. That'll keep you detoxing too. And then if you get on the herbs, you can detox with that. But at the same time, it'll pull you back a little bit, buffer you a little bit. The inflammation joint might help the pain a little bit. And also this acid locking my hip and leg up, absolutely. And remember, these are genetics. Let me look at your eyes here in a minute. I am burning up, get this, I am still burning up head to toe with acids, even after a 90-day fast. I know, because we have miles, my friend. We have miles of interstitial spaces. The interstitial spaces are the spaces around the cells, and this is where the lymph system is. Its job is to remove metabolitic waste from the cells, which are acids. Medical doctors should have got that 100 years ago. Never did. And this, if you don't get that system, then you're playing with blood, and you're playing with things you don't understand. You guys understand this, and that's important. I'm just wanted to read Joshua's case here because of the seriousness. He went through a lot of pain, a lot of suffering in a healing crisis. If you get what you think is too thin, take a break. Put on some weight again. You won't die being thin because you've got all this nutrition coming in. But if you're in a lot of pain and stuff like that, come off the fasting a little bit and just head down with the fruits and the berries and the melons until you feel like you can do it. Just do a 1 or 2 day fast now and then. Just work yourself down that road. Pretty soon you'll be able to do more extended fast. Remember, some people are so advanced that you have to be careful. Remember, if you get a case of gastroparesis, you gotta feed them a little marshmallow or something. Can't even take water. Remember, you have cases where their body's shutting down from extreme acidosis, and you have to be real cautious. That's why I said detoxification is an art. It is a vital art, and we call it regenerative detoxification because we're after genetic weaknesses. And when you understand how creation is put together and you understand what genetic weaknesses are in cells, you can understand how we're doing that. Now, he's got, along with parasites and candida, candling my ears, got lots of gunk out as well, still in detox mode, and will be for a few months, as I'm sticking to fruit only and will be a lifestyle. Now, Master Gino, who runs the Master Fast, says, I have chosen a very challenging body to heal, and that's coming from someone who has seen a lot of people's journeys over many years, and still my family do not understand the hell I have been in for the last 5 to 6 years with debilitating pain and fatigue and every other symptom under the sun, or the hell I am in right now whilst healing myself and no support. But, Joshua, we are God people. You have all of our support. You have Artie's support. You want to connect with Artie. That's our association for regenerative detoxification specialists. All the people that have been to the school, those that want to join us. It says worldwide. You have Facebook sites. Remember, you have Raw Fig, I think it is. You have a lot of sites with people who will help you. There's so many great people that are on our programs around the world. We have tens of thousands of people that are interested in helping. Remember, we're trying to train healers around the world to demonstrate how simple it is to get well, but how complex it can be. So, you're not alone. Plus, remember who you are, Joshua. Not who you are physically, but who are you spiritually. Remember God. Remember the infinite beingness. And remember, when something's infinite, then you're very much a part of that. So never negate the fact that you're never alone, my dear one. And yet you will always be alone. Every one of you will always be alone. Always. Because that alone exists. Only God exists. And that's an alone state. And when you get that, you'll have more nirvana than you can stand. It is ecstasy and joy beyond your belief. But it's interesting. It's not loneliness like you would think. It's aloneness. Extreme aloneness, because only that alone exists. So, from one stat, you're always alone, my friend, as I. But on the other hand, you and I are never alone because we're together as one in the state of aloneness. Very difficult to understand through the mind. You have to lay that thinking process down and work with the awareness, work with consciousness, not with thought. And consciousness is just is, so you have to do nothing but just be. That's how simple that is. Jesus taught it, Buddha taught it, Enoch taught it, all these people taught it. And it's so simple that it misses the mind a lot, and it misses people. But when you get that, then in Christianity, when it comes to the taking from the tree of knowledge, then you'll understand the serpent is the mind, the thinking process that restricts your freedom down to your thoughts. So you're never alone, my dear one, and I'm always here for you. Beyond your parents or anyone, I'm here for you always. Our whole staff is here for you. So don't feel like you're alone, my man. All right? But I agree with this Master Gino, whoever that is. You did pick a challenging body this lifetime, but you were supposed to. Remember, each and every one of you pick your bodies you're coming into. Well, you'll see how that works. You have a little friends that work with you. But you are in the body you're supposed to be in, and you're going through this challenge for a reason. One, you've created karma in your past, and two, who knows what it is you're to do in the future, my man. But when you get into deeper areas, you'll be one of the greatest healers out there. That's all I got to tell you. When you can bring yourself from Hellville to Wellville, you'll be an excellent healer, because you can bring anybody from Hellville to Wellville. All the human bodies are the same, except for the genetic level of weaknesses and the level of lymph stagnation, or acidosis. Your parents need to understand the hell you've been in, but some people don't. But I have to tell you, your parents can't be real healthy either, my dear one, because your eyes have some problems, and they come from them. So they've got problems. Okay, I am healing as I can heal. Feel it all happening inside my body. You're really body conscious. You know, we talked about that on one video. You might want to try to get out of being too body conscious, or you'll feel every little thing that goes on. That happened to me too. I could feel my blood moving. I could feel every little thing. You've got to get out of your body. You do. You've got to put your attention away. Just do that and occupy your attention with something else, either in meditation or somewhere else. And get away from feeling every little thing that goes on. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And you don't have to. You can detox and let your body detox, and you be involved in other things, my man, because you'll feel every little thing that goes on here. Let me see here. I need you to explain to my family what is going on inside my body, what I need to do to fix it, and also explain how many people you have healed over how many years, so they know that you know what you are talking about. They are coming from a background with no knowledge on how the body can heal itself whatsoever, so they really don't get what I am going through. Yeah, it's difficult. Your parents need to review some of these videos, and particularly the one on the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is key for humans to understand if you're going to survive the future on the planet and have better offspring. You have to understand how the human body is designed, how it works with the cells and the two fluids, the fact that your whole body is nothing but cells, but you have two fluids that service it. One fluid is the kitchen, obviously, that's the blood. The other fluid is the sewer system. Every vehicle, and that's all this physical body is your vehicle. It's not you, it's your vehicle while you're on this lovely rock spinning through space. But it requires fuel, proper fuel. We burn dirty fuel. We're frugivores, eating dead animals and everything else. Grains, beans, all the crap that leaves dirty fuel or dirty residue. So we have a lot of acid-forming foods we eat, and we have a lot of acid residues. Hi. You got to show this one. This is cute. Oh, Professor.
Professor? I'm the doctor.
Oh, you're the doctor.
I'm Dr. Morse.
You are? Oh, that's pretty cool.
Am I doing it right?
You're doing all right.
Awesome. Just wanted to say hello.
Oh, good. I'm showing everybody I only wore my cowboy hat. I didn't even recognize Jenny. I didn't recognize Jennifer. She passed me the cowboy.
Yeah.
Who's that? She's all made up.
She is.
I like that. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Yep.
I've got to make it official.
Make it official. This is our new counselor.
Hello.
Yep. This is Patty. Patty, Patricia.
Patty. My hair normally doesn't look this good, so. Just this special occasion. I'll shave after today.
Yeah. You know, I want to go visit the lady out in the
Oh, yeah.
the Lou Gehrig's
Yes.
stream. So we want to do it tomorrow, maybe, or next day. I want to see what your schedule is,
Okay.
and then we'll go right out there and say hi.
Sounds good.
All right, Professor. Oh, you're
right.
a doctor now.
Doctor.
Oh, you're a doctor. You were osteopath.
I went to osteopathic medical school, yes.
Yeah, almost all the way through, didn't you?
Yeah. Had to get out of there, though,
Yeah.
before I went in too far deep into the rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's true. But you were A&P professor a long time.
16 years.
16 years. That's a long time, you know. But I love that because you understand how the lymph works. You understand body parts that a lot of us don't because that's that was your specialty. So it's good stuff.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're talking about a young lad that had a massive healing crisis of severe pain, things like this. So we're talking to him and his parents and how to buffer some of this and expect some of this. Yeah.
He's in good hands.
Yeah, I know it.
In the right place.
Could be intense.
All right.
Ah, cute.
Nice to meet you, YouTube world.
YouTube world.
Bye.
Bye, honey.
See ya.
See ya. That's cute. That's funny, isn't it? She's funny, but she's smart as a whip. You know, she's an A&P professor, anatomy and physiology professor, 16 years, taught medical doctors how the body works. And when we brought out the lymph system, as we have, it snapped because she knew, as I knew, you don't jump metabolitic waste into the venous system. Death is quick. You have to understand you have two sides of chemistry, two major fluids. The blood is base dominant. The lymph is acidically dominant. Now, this is why you have the lymph fluid as a lipid-based fluid. And remember, you have the lymph nodes. What's the lymph nodes for? Who's in the lymph nodes? You've got bacterium for the acids, which breaks down these metabolitic 3 pH acids to about 5 to 6. And then you've got macrophages for any cells that are damaged. When you understand how the body works, you'll understand some of the stuff the medical doctors are saying is not true. And they can't prove it because we have all the professors. We follow research heavily here. We are very much into research big time, but we're into appropriate research, not into pharmaceutical bull crap that sells products. That is tainted so bad it stinks. Now, my friend, where are we here? All right, I'm going through, and they don't have a clue about what foods do to us, so I sound like an alien to them when I am trying to explain this truth to people who are programmed from birth. Well, that's the problem. And that's the real problem, is the mind's a programmable instrument, and all of our minds are programmed. They claim up till 5 years old, and after 5 years old, your programs are set. But this is why you can use music to reprogram yourself. We use Handel. You can use discordant music to break up thought forms, and then use coordinate music to, like Beethoven, to solidify those thought forms. This is well understood in certain circles, how you use music to break up thought forms and habits, and then how you use better music, soothing music, to create new habits along with your own consciousness. So there's all kinds of information to learn in this life. Humans have just been living a very, I have my head up my butt life. And now the governments are corrupt. Everything is heading down the negative side now. And we've got to turn it around. And you guys are just the people to do it. Look at the genetics in these kids. Horrible. And the things they have to do to get themselves back. But what the parents don't realize is their bodies are just down the same road. That's why people are only living to 60, 70 years old. Are you kidding? The human design is designed to live much, much longer than that. Easy. Jensen always felt it was 12 by 12. That was his big thing, was longevity. Remember, he went around the world and interviewed all the 160-year-old Russian, 167-year-old Russian, 147-year-old Hunza guy. Charlie Smith up here, I knew him. He was 120. Picked oranges, ate oranges. He had sardines and crackers and oranges. That was his life. Lived 120. Okay. Now, who programmed from birth into eating dead animals and dairy, etc., and believing in medical doctors. And there's a whole bunch of people that do into this, my dear man, and you just have to work with them and show them truth, introduce them to truth, let them review these videos. I've been in this field 45 years now, and there's not too many things we haven't cured. And of course, we're well known worldwide for all the cures, and look what you guys have done. Look at what you guys have done. It's amazing. I was talking to this one movie producer. They overcame their cancer within 8 weeks, and then I get a letter from one of you guys that overcame their leukemia within 8 weeks. That was pretty good. So that's the type of level that we're working on. But I want to show you guys the extent of what you can do for somebody. We have this lady that we're filming right now. And we film a lot of people, but we filmed this lady. But I wanted to show you. She's the one with Lou Gehrig's that came in. She's a famous singer, and not anymore. She couldn't talk. She lost the ability to talk neurologically. Of course, couldn't sing anymore, and then of course in a wheelchair, and then crippled up. So. Hey.
I just gotta look for your screw gun.
Oh. Do I have it? I think I put it back in here.
Yeah.
I hope I did.
Yeah.
But, thanks, son.
Yeah, no. Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm going to go on here. But thinking about the food side of this, we're fruitarians. Take a look at the design of the human being. He doesn't look like an omnivore. You got omnivores, carnivores, herbivores, and frugivores. We're not even vegetable eaters. We're nothing designed like vegetable eaters. We're not designed like omnivores. We're designed like primates. We're frugivores. And when you eat fruit, look at what all you're getting your remedies back when you're eating your fruit. When you judge fruit from a grocery store, wrong judgment. You have to judge the species and understand the species of the Homo sapien, and then why aren't we growing good fruit and picking it ripe instead of unripe and things like this. So it's hard for people to understand. And when you start eating the food your body's designed, the body starts cleaning itself and healing itself. You can't stop it unless you stop eating that way. When you stop eating your living foods, which is full of magnetic energy and chemistry, when you cook or process your foods, you're greatly destroying the electromagnetic energy and the chemical pHs and ratios. You've just messed the whole thing up. So somehow man got to thinking that cooking was better, and I think when he started migrating into colder climates this took place, because man is an islander species, not a caveman, not a paleo man, he's an islander. So when we migrated out of the islands, my guess is since we have nothing for protection, we had to kick it up, and then started cooking, canning, and crap like that just to survive. Well, we actually had to destroy our food so it'll last. Because living, vibrant food doesn't last, does it? And anybody thinks eating cooked dead food is better than living food just hasn't got a lot going on up here. Common sense. But man hasn't stopped and thought about it. No one's feeding the mind, and people so conditioned that it's just going on like a machine. Socialism. And that's just what they want. The more they can, we're getting ready to elect someone, possibly heavy socialist, world banker. And wait a few years into that. This is going to be a hell years coming. It's just the way things have to be torn apart. So thank you so much, and I hope I have covered enough for you to understand my situation. Absolutely, my dear man. You've done really good on yourself. You got a lot of gnarly stuff out. But look at his eyes, guys. I want to show you his eyes. I don't have anybody to help me here. So let's take a look at this. Okay. So this is going to be your right eye, bro. Got some nice eyelashes. Look at those eyelashes. It looks like a woman's. So pretty. Look at these eyes. So I'm going to just show them to you, and then I'm going to read them here for you. Just going to let you take a good look at them. See how there's no really straight fibers. The trabecula is not straight. So let's start with the right eye first. Okay, right eye first. Right kidney, chronic. Right adrenal gland, chronic. Right leg, chronic. Right hip, chronic, and groin. You've got some stuff going on genetically, and this has to come out of dad or mom, because you have your whole right leg is weak, Josh. Well, genetically, the kidney is weak, and chronically so, and a chronic adrenal gland. You have a lot of lymph stagnation around the adrenal gland, so that could suppress it even more. As I move around from the hip, let's take a look here for a minute, guys. Okay. All right, so it's just what I thought. We have a chronic pancreatic weakness. So you want to get on the pancreatic formula somewhere on your journey here. And I would do it soon and add 2-3 times a day capsules, because you have a very chronic pancreas. It slips down a little bit into the right testicle, a lot of lymph in the right testicle. The liver about subacute genetically. The gallbladder has some chronic weakness and a lot of inflammation in the gallbladder, bro. So you might want to do a liver gallbladder flush, but I'd work on my liver gallbladder for a couple of months first. Strengthen it up, detox it. But the pancreas is a bit of a deal. Right chest area. If you were a woman, you'd have a weakness right in this chest area, so you got to be careful in the feed to it. Weakness in the lower bronchial trunk, feeding into the lower lobe of the right lung. You have 3 lobes on the right side. That lower bronchial trunk's chronic. That feeds into that lower lobe. It picks up a weakness in the lower lobe and mid lobe of your right lung pattern. I got some right ear going on. Right shoulder is chronic, so you're going to have some problems with that snapping and popping. You get a little weakness in the animation lifeline, which is just your happiness and stuff like that. Pituitary, important to think about. There's a subacute weakness in the pituitary, but it is there, and the same in the pineal, so it could give you some insomnia. If you have a little insomnia, can't rest, Joshua, take 1 or 2 pineal glandulars, 1 or 2 hours BS before sleep. I get down to the thyroid. You have a subacute thyroid with a chronic parathyroid. You get on the parathyroid, take the Bones formula. Parathyroid, 50 milligrams, 2-3 times a day. Hitchhike it with the Bones 2-3 times a day. Go after your connective tissue and your skeletal system, but you've got to keep removing the acid. Can't just force calcium into there and matrix and stuff. Now, with that said, there's a little bit of a throat going on here, so you might have a sore throat even, my man. Upper C-spine, right side, upper C-spine. You're right on the bridge of subacute and chronic. Upper T's, more subacute. Mid-back, you got something real black there. Could be a drug deposit, could be a little decay. Mid-back, a little bit lower than that, perhaps. Might even be picking up the lumbars. When I'm getting into the bladder, I have a little bit of a chronic bladder, and the prostate has a lot of inflammation there. Left side, kidneys better. Kidneys better, more subacute, but definitely genetically involved. The adrenals better, more subacute, but tons of lymph stagnation. The upper femur, heavy lymph, a lot of inflammation. Don't see a lot of deterioration or nothing. Groin on the left side and hip on the left side, right on the line of subacute and chronic. So that's important. That both hips, groins, the left testicle is somewhat chronic. Now, when I shift around to the bladder, you've got some chronicness to the bladder, but when you get into your lower back here, it's more of this black something. It's either chemicals or you got a little decay going on, and this is in the left side lower back. That's going to be L4, L5, down to the coccyx probably, real close to that. Left ear, mastoid. Could give you a little equilibrium vertigo there. The left shoulder is better than the right. Still has some acute inflammation in there. Spleen, just have a lot of lymph stagnation on that. So that kind of gives you an insight, my dear one, into what you have to do. Skin is a little down. It would be a little with the thyroid down a little bit. But really, you can pull yourself. Most of these are not deep. You have a chronic gut. And see all this sulfur? This is the orange around your pupil. That's sulfur. And I'll bet you $100 your mom's got it in her too. But this is sulfur. Now, sulfur creates heavy fungal problems and, of course, gassy bloating. Your bowel wall is impacted lymphatically, so you have malabsorption. There's no question, my friend. Matter of fact, you have subacute to chronic gut, and you have prolapses, spasticity. Your transverse colon is prolapsed. Your splenic flexure is prolapsed. So you got some work to do on yourself. But don't let all these negatives, because you have a pretty good body here. You can pull yourself up out of this and fix these spots. Not that many of them. So you can pull yourself up, my dear one, and get yourself well. So I hope this... I'm going to take a break because I got to go to lunch, and then I'll come back and finish this video. But matter of fact, maybe I can... I don't know, I'll ask them what they want to do about Joshua's video. I'd like to do some Q&As here, but maybe what I'll do is save that till after lunch or after a while. There's so many good questions that you guys have here. The thought with Joshua is that there are healing crises. Joshua went through a lot more pain than what I would think he should have, although I've had some healing crises that were very painfully involved. When you come through these type of things, you can use marshmallow root, use our inflammation joint formula, anti-inflammatories, not the pharmaceutical type. Those all have fatal events tied to them, but herbal anti-inflammatories. So slippery elm, marshmallow, mullein, all these are for pain, swellings, things like that. And you might want to sip on that 3-lung tea, Joshua. That loosens up hardened sputum. But this is just a process of hydration. Hydration comes in when you start eating base-dominant foods. You can't hydrate eating acid-forming foods. That's a problem. And most people are on this planet are eating acid-forming foods. All your meats are highly acid-forming foods. Your dairy products that have been pasteurized are acid-forming foods. But even with their raw milks, you can't eat concentrated milks because those are mucus-forming. And you just go in and down that road. Matter of fact, the only foods that are really not mucus-forming are your fruits, berries, get a lumpectomy. Or have you hit the raw to get it out the right way? How about black salve to pull it out? You know, the problem is right now, there's not a lot of good salves on the market. I tried the Amazon salve and I'm not happy with that at all. I'm used to using a high quality black salve and the guy I get it from has ruined it now. But he used to pull them right out beautifully, healed right behind it. The good black salve, that reminds me, where's my black salve and where's my my infant formula? Yeah. Yeah, because that's what it's going to want to do. If it's starting to erupt, you could just put some potato on there and try to pull it out. It's very unfeminine, and there is an odor. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. What you guys don't realize is when you get tumors that look this bad, I've just got a whole bunch here. You don't want to see any of these, I don't think. They're pretty gnarly. There's one on a guy's neck. But, you know, this stuff's just got to come out. And it's sewage, it's acidic, it stinks, it's putrefactive. I mean, you guys have been to school, seen the one I pulled. It was this big. John Hopkins finally had to cut it off. Great big thing. I felt sorry for her. That thing, I mean, it's putrefactive. There's nothing worse than smelling putrefactive tissue. Yeah, nasty. So I know where you're coming from, honey. And just after 2 of your talks, I believe that your help and products can help. Oh, you want to get on this and get this out of there ASAP. You really want to get linked to us and get one, Marcy or one of us to help you. Now, I'm generally, on a case like yours, I'm generally the first man that talks to you. And so we get you pictures. We want everything here, or you can come in and see us. But we get you going on this. My goal is to avoid an operation and losing my breast. I get that, but you've had it in there long enough. Out, out, out. It must come. So either we pull it out or we get it out the way that it came, that you formed it. That's the way I prefer, because then you're done. You won't form any more, and you're fixed. You got to fix it anyway, or you'll form another one. That's the other problem with that. You can't ignore fixing it, but pulling it. But sometimes it's so much easier just to pull it out with black salve and you're done. Fixing the problem too, because another one will grow if you don't. My question is, do you think that these products are able to dissolve, expel the tumor? Not dissolve. Nothing will dissolve the tumor. Well, there is. Radiation or battery acid fries it like a piece of chicken. Of course, then you damage all the other tissue, and now you get another tumor, but even bigger from it. But as soon as your website accepts my joining, I will order the products. I thank God that you love people. Oh, thanks, Ann. You betcha, Ann. But listen, honey, you get focused and get done. I would just like this other lady. I put myself on a 40-day grape fast. What do you got to lose? I put a lot of people on 40-day grapes. It goes faster than you think. You're just eating grapes all day long, every day. That's your food. You're not hungry. You don't have to go hungry. Although I would undereat just a little bit to stay a little bit hungry. That puts you in a semi-fasting state. Works out better. If you always eat till you're full, detox isn't always so good. But if you just go a little hungry, just a little bit, then it really will help you a lot more. But Ann, get this out. Get that done. Get your life done. Then you're done. Right? You didn't give me a size factor on the tumor or anything like that, so I don't know what to tell you. Now, let me see. This is kind of designed and real small for me to read. I can hardly see this. This is from Stacy, and this is April 1st. Wow. Wow. Wow, is this how back I am? Oh my God. I'm sorry, I'm so far behind here, guys. Oh my God, I don't know where these came into play. I'll read this since I started this, but this is a long time ago, guys. I don't have any. Oh, this is July. This is closer. The 19th. I'd like begin by thanking you for all you do for. Oh, thanks. Thank you so much. Before I begin with my issues, I know a man born with a micro penis. Can that be fixed? Wow. So he was starting to, I wonder what chromosomes got turned up on him. He's starting to probably really go and become more of a woman or something. You know, you get those. You know, I don't know. I've never had a case like that. I would work on the pituitary. I'd take a real good look at the pituitary gland and the adrenal glands. I really would, and I'd be working on that, working on those two tissues and developing that, because it is possible. You can on herbs. I've on our female reproductive formula, we got women's breasts to grow and firm. I've never tried a male, but they have been selling herbal male products to make the penis grow. I don't know. If they're anything would, the male reproductive formulas, mine is not as hot as it used to be because I'm just too scared of someone taking it with prostatitis and getting prostate cancer from it. Too hot. But it's certainly anything's possible. We've seen older women's breasts firm and actually enlarge. So I don't know. Date. Here's 2 years old. Area affected hair. Started growing underarm hair, and I'm presently a dry and hairy person. Alright, so it sounded like you had too much testosterone. Alright, so that could be your pituitary or your adrenals. 8 years old, hives. Lymphatic, kidney, and adrenals. 13 years old, hives. Lymphatic, kidney, and adrenals. And she breaks out whenever she gets nervous. 26 years, MS. Diagnosed MRI, found lesions on both sides of my brain and spine. 27 years, lupus. Well, you know, lupus, Lyme's, all of that stuff's all the same, guys. And you would be. To be dealing with the MS, you're going to be systemically down lymphatically too. So you might as well throw fibromyalgia, lupus, Lyme's in there. Let them throw all that stuff in there. You're going to get rid of it just the same anyway. Let them throw whatever they want in there. But that's just your lymph system backed up. It's got to be anyway to have MS. So it depends where your blowback is on the lymph system, and you can see where you are here. 27 years, let's see, lupus, a few weeks, okay. A few weeks of taking a drug for MS. Oh, get this one. This is good. A few weeks of taking a drug for MS, I started experiencing rashes on my back, which the neurologist claimed had nothing to do with the medication. Blah, 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 blah. Now she's diagnosed with lupus. 29 years old, paleo diet. You know what, paleo people. For this point forward, I've decided to my health into my own hands. Thank you. Thank you. Stacy, smart woman, honey. I practiced on myself rather than seeing a medical doctor. Good woman. Sorry, needed to. This is way out of their league. She's 30 years now, I think. She's vegan. The owner of a Green Wave. Oh, hi, Green Wave. Yep. Well, tell him hi for me, would you, and his daughter. Raul's a good friend of mine. I love the guy. But his daughter will put you on fruits. And that's where you need to be. Fruits, berries, and melons only, sweetheart. Mention the benefits of going raw and your herbs. That was Raul. And that's because he's seen what... first time I met Raul, he was an educator at Hippocrates. He brought in a young man over here. He'd heard about me and had this big tumor on the side of his neck. And he had already been... The young man had been to Hippocrates for about 3 months. 3 or 4 months. And with basically unchanged. And I told Raul, I said it's because he's on the wrong diet. And the herbs, of course, address the systems down and that sort of thing. So I think we had it mostly gone in 3 months or less. Yep. But I've loved that guy ever since. He's seen a lot of things. And 30 years old, fruitarian, started watching your YouTube. Yeah! Now you're going to be successful, dear one. Now you're going to throw that neurological thing out the door. And you're going to get all the body cleaned up. And now you're in good shape. You probably go through some ups and downs with the lymph system like this. But now you're on the right spot, sweetheart. Respect you immensely. Now, you've got the right door open. Due to the MS, my biggest concern is with my walking and balance. Absolutely, don't worry about that. You've got to get up in here. Upper circuit, and nerve. You might want to have one of us write your protocol for you. Upper circuit, brain, and nerve. Upper circuit, brain, and nerve. Upper circuit, brain, and nerve. And kidneys and adrenals. Adrenals. I'd go the 400 milligram granular for about 2 months, and then I'd go to an adrenal herb hitchhike licorice root. All right? Now, go after those bowels. You want to drain the head area. Get these lesions. Upper circuit, brain, and nerve. Upper circuit, brain, and nerve. Lymphatics, bowels, kidneys, adrenals. And you might want to make sure that parathyroid is good because nerve transmission needs calcium. Now, you know the adrenals are a major player in MS, so where are we going? Adrenals. How low is your blood pressure? Heat makes me worse. But of course, why? Heat is acidic. Cold is base or alkaline. So, what does that tell you right there? That when you're highly acidic and then you get in heat, it takes more nerve energy out of you. Worst thing you can do is heat. That's why we never recommend cold sheet treatments for anybody with neurological weaknesses. Put yourself down. You got to be careful with the heat because in hospitals we turn the room down, and this is also true in COPD. Breathing problems. Have someone with a lung problems, COPD or whatever, whether it's easier to breathe when it's the wintertime or in the middle of the hot summer. Same thing with MS, Lou Gehrig's, Parkinson's. I lose feelings in my limbs and have tremors and spasms. Well, we put you on antispasmodics. We put you on the brain and nerves, of course. But I also highly recommend you visit a chiropractor to help us and have him make sure the axis, or her, the axis and everything is straight, because we want to move lymph up out of this head area. We want to make sure your spinal column is straight. Okay? Remember that, everyone. Work on the neurolymphatic points down your spine. Have someone work that on you and, go after this. You'll be successful. We have very few people that are not, and very few people that actually do this level that are not. I only know one, and there's some other reason he's dealing with. But everyone else is, I'm not doing the program. And that's those two in a wheelchair, that's man and wife. You know who I'm talking about. All right. For that reason, I don't hold babies. I probably wouldn't. But we put you on an antispasmodic. And at the same time, we're rebuilding the nervous system. At the same time, we're promoting neurotransmitters and enhancing steroids for the acidosis and for the myelin sheaths. You see where we're working? We're getting up in here with the brain lesions, meaning your acids are frying your brain. We're pulling the acids out and repairing the lesions. For that reason, my greatest fear in life is not being able to hold my own baby. Oh, don't make me cry. I don't have any children, but would like to when my body is normal again and timing is right. Besides, Mr. Right hasn't found me yet. You get yourself fixed up, and Mr. Right will be right there, sweetheart. And then you can bring in a higher soul to this planet, and you'll be totally prepared for that higher soul because you'll know exactly how to take care of the body so they can get the job done here. So, yeah, right on, honey. I'm a 2,000% behind you, Stacy. You need help, you call. All right? So you get this done, dear. All right? My focus is obtaining my God's given right to life and life abundantly. And that's for each and every one of you. You are a part of God. You have the right to come down here. We just have to blow this old consciousness out of here, replace it with truth and love and humility, and win the day. And then you got a lovely vacation spot. Yeah, come to planet Earth and let's stay for about 200 years. With that stay, we will put you on an island with fruits and well, I think, therefore I am. I would be wrong, right? Because it's I am, therefore I think. Which came first, consciousness or creation? Consciousness or mind? I think, that's the mind, right? I am is consciousness. Remember the I am that I am? All those things that you read in spiritual scriptures, whether it's the Upanishads, it's been a long time since I read the Upanishads. As a matter of fact, it's been a long time since I've read the Bhagavad Gita. So it's been a while since I read those. So don't beat me up too much on those. But mainly you'll see all the truth in those when you understand who the ultimate creator is. And they all give you the words, the I am, that I am, that I am, the all, the omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, that which is, the is, beingness. All these words are words that we use to identify pure consciousness, pure energy, pure awareness. These type of words, pure intelligence, not thought, intelligence, awareness. So these are words that we use to reflect on what God really is. Because when you're talking something that's infinite, and that's all places, all powerful, all knowing, there's nothing else. So that's what it comes down to. You live and breathe within the body of God. There's nothing outside of that. It can't be because it's infinite. There's nothing outside of the infinite because it's infinite. Hard to understand all that through the mind. And that's all NASA. Finally, after seeing all that, all those galaxies, they got mapped 120 galaxies, most of them much, 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 much bigger than ours. I would be too. No beginning, no ending. Oh, wow. This is Edwina. Hi, Edwina. Dr. Morse, you are awesome. Oh, thank you. Love you too, honey. I had breast cancer in 07 in both breasts. Both breasts, damn. Had tumors removed and more lymphs removed under one arm on one side. Lymph node, huh? 2012, the lymph nodes began to hurt under that arm. That's 4 years ago. Now 2016, I started bruising easy and my whole white blood cell count are low, 2.9. Yeah. Which they have never been on 4.5 for the last 20 years. And my red cell, but remember, we create these things, little at a time and a little at a time, daily eating bad, and then one day, the dam breaks. Just one day, the water pressure's been there, but just one day, the dam breaks loose. And my red blood cells are 3.2, which is low, guys. My platelets are 80. Must have damaged cells in spleen, bone marrow. Can I beat this? I am determined. You definitely can beat this, Edwina, and this one I need to get to you. And where's your telephone number? I'm going to give this to Jen B, and she's going to email you and make sure you're on this. Okay, sweetheart. Because I don't have a phone number, I'd call you right here. You know, if any of you want to, sometime I'll call you online. If you're into that, I'll call you online, and that way you guys can see how I interact with people. It's up to you. Pretty much like you see it here, though. All right, so what we have here is a bit of a problem. Now remember that this person never fixed their problem. They just had these tumors removed and some lymph nodes removed, but they never did fix the problem. So this is now a bigger problem, all right? So you don't know whether it's spleen or bone marrow. Either one can be involved because your spleen deals with white blood cells, red blood cells, and platelets. Your bone marrow the same. So either way, this is all acidosis breaking you down, and you want to fix this. She's at 80,000 platelets. That's not good. You know, you want to be at over 200,000 platelets. You get down around 6,000 platelets, you could bleed out in a heartbeat. I'm blessed to bleed right out and I can't stop you. You know, that's how you clot. So, I don't know, 10,000 is dangerous. They won't do surgery, what, under 15 or 20? So, you just, you know, you got a problem here. So, and they would call this leukemia now, which is just ridiculous. But, all right, so you want to get on the program like yesterday, and I'm dead serious about this. And then you want to hitchhike our bone marrow formula and our spleen formula, and go after this because you're right on spleen and you want to address your parathyroid gland. You're bruising easy, and you want to address your parathyroid. Hitchhike that with bones, 50 milligrams, 1-3 times a day. I would do 2-3 times a day. 2-3 times a day of the parathyroid glands, and 3 times a day with the bones. Do that for about a month. But you want to get in there, get your kidneys filtered, and get your lymph moving. You got to address this lymphatic problem because now it's chewing on bone marrow or spleen. Now this is getting serious. You can remove a breast, but now you're getting into some serious zones here. You can whip this. We whip people like this all the time. But you're right on where you're thinking, bone marrow and spleen. I have herbs for both of those tissues, but you want to remove the acidosis. Can't just put in goodies on top of acids. So yeah, yep. And this is real important. Okay, so I made note for Jen to call you and help you. Email you. See, they get too old here, and that's what scares me. So we're going to start. I think we're going to start having someone, maybe even Jen, view these questions. So on all the ones that's cancer and stuff, she could throw right in my face. You know what? What I think I'll do is come back and start a new one. I don't want this to get too lengthy. I want this to get up there and get going with this. And well, in the job of saving people, bodies. We're in the body repair business. But we're also there ringing in the chimes of consciousness too, so I think we're doing pretty good there as well. I know a lot of you guys are waking up now, and it's just a beautiful thing to see, isn't it? It's just a beautiful thing to become a more awake, aware being, because the fun, the awareness, the joy, just the shift is just incredible. So I love each and every one of you. Thank for the great comments, good questions, and a lot of you got a lot of problems here. So always know, whatever you're facing, fruits, berries, and melons, whatever you're facing, fruits, berries, and melons, if it's too strong, back it up, pick up some green drinks, or salad, but fruits, berries, and melons. Now, you always are going after the lymphatic system because that's the way you get rid of acidosis. The lymphatic system, the key system, and it is the key system of what everybody's suffering from. Yeah, it's broken down tissues. Those are, thank you, Lord, easy to fix that other stuff. It's the lymphatic system. You've got to address the cause first. Always address the cause first. Treat whatever you want, but address the cause with it. Must do. Or it's just like you're reading here. The blowback. Oh, I had the tumors removed, but you didn't fix the system that's down because no one told you it was. Wasn't your fault. You didn't know. But now wow, I was back with a vengeance. It was because you didn't fix the system it was involved in. These are lymph systems, lymphomas. Same with everything else. So you guys are getting it pretty good, and I'm real proud of you. You guys are turning a lot of things around. So I'm real proud of you. I'm going to show you these pictures. I'm real impressed with just amazing work that lady's done on herself. To show you how bad you can be on the face and getting it back. Pretty cool. I'll try to have those for the next video. Love you guys. Lunch to the mango garden. No mango garden, they're all over with. I've got one left.